As part of this financial fair play, we want really to undertake this initiative because we think it will lead us down the right direction. Before moving on to something else, I would like to say the following. Today, we are going to focus on Lucas Paquetá. So please keep your questions limited to this topic. Let us not start discussing the many other topics that I'm sure you're very interested in, but please, let's focus on this. Thank you. Hello, Lucas. Welcome. I have something very basic to ask. How do you feel here in Italy with the club, with the team, all the professionals and your teammates? Hi. Well, I really got a very nice impression. I am extremely happy. I am really intrigued by this challenge. I would like to thank the President and all of the technical committee for the trust they placed in me. And really, I hope I will be up to these high expectations. If you could also state your name and especially your headline, it would be great. Sky Sport, Di Stefano, welcome for starters. Here in Italy, it is that easy to associate names with faces or past myths, and your name has been associated with Kaká, who made the history of Milan. Do you feel you are technically similar to Kaká? What is your impression? Kaká is really someone I look up to. I always followed what he did. Clearly, he was the best player in the world. I'm really at the first steps of my career, and hopefully I will be able to build a history for myself. That's all I can say for now. For Leo, how did you find out about Paquetá? How did you get to know him, and how did you beat a bit the competition of teams like Paris Saint-Germain? Well, the chairman was quite nice about what he said on the Brazilians and Milan. There's really nothing to discover as regards Kaká, Thiago Silva and the likes were already playing at a high level. He is a key player for a team that came second in the Brazilian Championship. So he already is quite an instrumental player to the team. He already played in the national team. Certainly we need to match his characteristics to a project that we want to define for Milan. I think that he has got all it takes to do that. He has great human qualities, but also great technical skills, and there certainly is room for him to grow and improve further. Let's say that we are at the starting phase of his top level. Although, as I said, he already played at top-notch level with Flamengo. Now, a question to Paolo Maldini. When you bought it, what position did you think for him? An attacking midfielder, a left winger? We thought of him as a great player. His role still needs to be defined. He played as a left winger, a midfielder who can play up front. So he is someone with great technical and physical skills. He's got a great mindset, human qualities. He really needs to get used to a football style, different speed, pace, but really he has all it takes to be successful. And then the coach will deal with these technical aspects. Hi Lucas, Mediaset, Claudio Raimondi. I wanted to ask you the following. What did Leonardo tell you to convince to join Milan? Because it is not easy to snatch a talent like yours from Flamengo. What convinced you about that? Well, the first word was AC Milan, top-notch team with a great history. And so that really was amazing for me, for my family. And he presented to me his excellent project. He introduced me to some of the professionals, and really I am extremely happy about all of this. I discussed with my family, and we decided that Milan was the right place to be for me.
Hello everyone. In Portuguese, can I do? Okay.
Lucas, a question for Lucas. I wanted to know about your feelings joining Milan, but things started back in October. I wanted to know, how did you get ready for this? And are you thinking that you will make history with this jersey? Well, clearly, I still had a contract with Flamengo, and I wanted to focus on my play there. Then, when I finished, my family and myself discussed quite a lot about this. The play style is different. I really need to adapt to settle in before I can make sure I can win for Milan. So, you see, as soon as I accepted, my dream lives on, and I really want to get even to the World Championship and win. Negotiating Paquetá in Brazil had an impact that was similar to Rodrigo and Vinicius Junior for Real Madrid. I wanted to know from you, what is your role in this project of Milan to get on the best possible course? Well, the project is quite broad. If we look at his age, well, this is his big contract for his age in a way. And I'm sure that expectations are running high, and expectations must be properly managed. Also, we have the fact that Milan has a great history with Brazilian players. Let's mention Kaká, for instance. Kaká came to Milan after playing a couple of years. But, you know, I think that such a contract means that we want to develop a certain philosophy of play, a cheerful play, talented play, and also aggressive play. I think that this is what we want to achieve by having Lucas with us. Leo, when Kaká arrived, the club was the champion of the Champions League, basically, and the players who were receiving Kaká were top-notch names, champions. Are you considering this aspect in providing support for Paquetá? Are there elements similar to when Kaká joined Milan? Well, it's clear, but we mustn't go overboard with comparisons with Kaká. Of course, Milan back then was experiencing a different moment with Paolo Maldini as the captain, and we were winning quite a lot. Today, the situation is different. Milan is going through different situation, major structural changes, even the ownership changed, and so the moment is indeed different. So our evaluation takes in all of these different aspects. Kaká is one thing. Here we're dealing with another person. Talent is there for sure, and I am sure that our organization will try and put not only Lucas but also all players in the best possible conditions to develop and grow further. Good afternoon, Resport, Francesco Rocchi. Welcome to Italy. You got here in December and then you came back. I wanted to know, what do you know about the Italian Championship? What could potentially be difficulties or advantages? Did you study, in a way, a little bit the Italian Championship? Good afternoon. Thank you for the question. Yes, I watched quite a few matches. I noticed that it's quite a competitive style of football, quite tactical but also physical. And I must say it is slightly different in Brazil. But I really am determined to try and adapt and take in all of the tips from Mr. Gattuso, so that I can really give my best performance seeking victory. One last question for Leonardo. Paolo Maldini mentioned it, Gattuso echoed it. It takes calm and patience, but isn't there sort of temptation, given that we have the Supercoppa against Juventus? So is there a temptation to field Paquetá as a sort of surprise move for that big game? Well, he is at our disposal, by all means. He arrived in December, he spent 10 days with the team, and now he joined with all the rest. We will have first Coppa Italia to play, so, you know, everything can happen. Ready? Yes, he is ready, because he arrived in Italy in December precisely for that. Also, his private life has been organized. He found a home, and so he is fully available for the team. Good evening, Stefano Scacchi, Repubblica. Lucas, why did you pick jersey 39? Is there any particular reason for that? Good afternoon. It was the number I started with at Flamengo. And so here I was faced with a new challenge, that is to say, turning professional. So I don't want to be superstitious, but it is a number I'm fond of, and I feel that this new number has good recollections for me, and so I wanted to keep it. And a question for Mr. Scaroni. You talked about fair play in the introduction, and so I wanted to ask you where the Friday on meeting in Nyon is a routine meeting, or are you asking something specific of UEFA? Well, really, I wouldn't want to discuss our negotiations when it comes to UEFA, especially today, because we're here to discuss Lucas Paquetá, to have a chat with him. So I'll provide you with more precise updates in the near future. Good afternoon, Matteo Basile, Giornale. How would you define yourself, technically speaking? What sort of player are you? Good afternoon. I am quite a technical player who always seeks to be quite adaptable and changeable. So I'm quite mindful of going out to the wind or moving up front. I think my physical condition is quite strong, and I, shall we say, play both with the ball and without. And in Italy, this is quite important. And so my idea is to try and be quite offensive, aggressive, creating right playing conditions and try really to play up front for the team.